And we're back with some more news.
One random thought that's always depressing. I always seem to run out of water by the end of the first section.
You can get more on our next break.
Yeah, I know, but that's not like I will.
All right. N- no Nova Novartis tries to make UK hospitals use $1,000 drug. This article is about an eye treatment drug that they were planning. They originally were using a relatively cheap drug that costs like $60, and this company wants them to use a more expensive but a licensed drug. Right now, UK hospitals are not using it, and it's basically it's the difference between a licensed drug, and an unlicensed drug, and it's there's cost efficiency as well.
Essentially, drug maker Novartis, they are the ones who make the 700 pound as in price, not as in weight.
That'd be a
I would
heavy
use
drug.
I would use grams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're taking legal action in Britain to make state-run hospitals use an eye drug produced by themselves that costs £700 per shot instead of the cheaper one, which costs £60, which in America terms, the Novartis one is $1,130, and the cheaper one is $97.
Approximately. Yeah.
What Novartis is saying, well, according to the United Kingdom's health watchdog, Novartis's Lucentis is the only drug that is recommended to treat the eye problem macular degeneration in the country's state-run National Health Service hospitals. But several of the National Health Service hospitals, not all of them, just some of them, have been prescribing the cheaper Avastin, which is actually a cancer drug made by Genentech Incorporated, a subsidiary of Roche, for the same problem, even though it is not officially approved. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine last year showed that Avastin did work just as well as Lucentis for treating macular degeneration. So, since Avastin is £60 compared to Lucentis's £700, for those of you who can't do the math, that's £640 less, or 10 and 2/3 times less. Um, so they're saving 1,000%
Yeah.
on by using Avastin instead of Lucentis, and Novartis logically is suing and taking
Is it
calling
one
for
thousand
judicial
percent?
review. It's roughly 1,000%. I
Like
believe. I'm not.
a hundred
I haven't
dollars
taken a
to
math class.
1,100? I don't know.
Um,
Anyways, sorry.
Novartis is calling for judicial review as a last resort because it believes patient safety is being potentially compromised, is what they say. Now, of course, that's what they're going to say. Whether or not this is actually whether or not that's actually their viewpoint, I think we all
Yeah.
pretty much I think we can all pretty much agree that's probably not what their main focus is here.
Yeah.
But I am not going to personally speculate because
That gets us
I
all into trouble. Um, yeah, I mean, they did multiple studies, and Helen Jackman from the Macular Disease Society said if Avastin is not as safe as Lucentis, no one should be using it. However, if it is as good, perhaps everyone should be using it. So I mean, obviously they want their money, but if there is maybe a safety issue that they haven't found, I I I don't know about this kind of stuff, but if there is one, maybe it is better to use the more expensive one, regardless of how expensive it is in comparison. But that's so leaving it up to judicial review, I guess, if last resort.
um oh Lucentis, just for the people who are curious, Lucentis and Avastin act on the same biological protein in the body to spur blood vessel growth. And in the United States, eye doctors have often used tiny amounts of Avastin and billed the government for the cost rather than buying Lucentis. So, well, as we all know, United States healthcare. But ignoring that, Avastin is already widely, well, I'm not going to say widely, but because it doesn't really say that in the article, but it is used often in place of Lucentis for the same problem as they're saying in the United Kingdom. I have no statistics on whether or not it works or if it doesn't, but chances are if it didn't work, they'd probably stop using it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the United States were kind of sue happy. Someone would have sued for malpractice or something.
Yeah, we are so happy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's about all I got to say on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to bust some Walmarts?
Ah, yes, this one.
I was so happy about this story, to be honest. Busted. Walmart caught in massive bribery scandal that goes all the way to the top. Basically to their CEOs. So basically, Walmart had engaged in bribery within Mexico for several years and then tried to cover it up. This almost deserves to be placed in Section 2.
Almost.
Almost.
It's not that special.
It's not quite as stupid as I would have liked it to be, but it is a large branch of corruption.
Well, it's Walmart. It's Walmart. It's like everywhere. Of course it's large.
Yeah, I was happy because I do not like Walmart at all. In any form. I have this extreme bias against Walmart. I do realize it has a lot of people that go to it, but something about it just ticks me off. So, I guess what they had done is they had bribed like the local governments within Mexico to giving, them some form of benefit. I couldn't really figure it out what it was in here, but
They bribed government officials in Mexico with bribes which may have totaled more than $24 million to win permission to open new stores a lot more quickly than would have been possible had they actually adhered to the law in Mexico.
the ends don't really justify the means. Why their prices are so cheap. Yeah, Twitches. Yeah,
So,
I was just gonna say that they have cheap prices not because it's not because it's like whoa like it could cost this cheap anywhere else. It's because they import cheaply and from questionable countries who use questionable labor to make their products. But sorry, that was just a little digression brought by Twitches.
you derail us so quickly.
Sorry. What were you gonna say?
Geez, 20% of Walmart stores worldwide are in Mexico. So, yeah, that's a lot of stores. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of bribes.
Yeah.
These bribes were initially hidden from Walmart's global headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas, by disguising them as normal legal bills. Also, this is also known as accounting fraud. And one of the key executives in charge of the bribery payments actually quit the company in 2005 after being passed over for promotion. He actually, once he quit, he told some of the Walmart lawyers and implicated many of the senior Walmart executives in this process, and eventually it just all kind of spiraled out of control for this. Now, it is kind of likely that Vice Chairman Eduardo Castro Wright and current CEO Michael Duke will possibly be sent packing
I hope so.
Criminal charges for some executives would not seem to be out of the question. But that is all still yet to be seen. We're again, this is Mexico. As much as I hate to say it, this isn't really all that out of the normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Walmart.
Walmart.
You'll never cease to surprise me. If there's not fights in your parking lot, then you're bribing people in Mexico. Illegally, of course.
Speaking of big companies doing illegal shit.
Oh, yeah. This one was donated to us by Piano Slave. Hasbro cons fan blogger into divulging address, sends representatives to stake out his apartment. So I wasn't really sure what there was some Nerf gun that I guess wasn't being released.
This was actually one of the articles that I managed to read through the whole way before the show.
All
so
right.
I can cover this one.
All right, I kind of skimmed over this one, but I'll let you cover it then, because you.
Oh no, I had to read this one.
Okay.
I had to. Basically, quick question: can you hear that?
Nope.
Really?
Oh, now I can.
Yeah. Good God. Anyways, apologies. That was a helicopter flying over my house, and my window's open. 'Cause it gets damn hot in here. But anyways, Martin Young is a big fan of Nerf guns. And like any big fan, he wanted to engage with both the object of his fandom and other fans. So he started the website Urban Taggers, which is a blog about Nerf guns. And everything was perfectly fine. This wouldn't have even been newsworthy until he posted a review on the N-Strike Elite Rampage blaster, which was an unreleased Nerf gun that, while not available in stores, it was available on eBay. Now, shortly after the review went live, Hasbro got in touch with Wang for his mailing address so they could send him some swag to give away to his readers. Now, of course, under this guise, Wang, well, if you run a blog about Nerf guns, of course you're going to say, sure, hit me up with some free shit. With some free Nerf shit that I can give out to people who read this. Sure. Now, of course, they were lying. So Hasbro's lawyers sent him a letter demanding he take down the review, provide the name, address, email, and IP address of the person who'd given him his info. But, of course, it gets worse. Now, Yang did cooperate with the takedown request. He removed any and all references to the unreleased gun from his entire blog. He did not, however, turn over the information on his sources, and instead, this is an Australian story. Martin Young is Australian. He referred the lawyers to the provisions of the Australian Evidence Act, which and explained that unreleased guns such as the Rampage can be found easily on online marketplaces. Of course, Baker and McKenzie, the legal firm which represented Hasbro, didn't like that very much. They sent him a follow-up email explaining the apparent dire need of Hasbro to find the source of these unreleased guns, and Yang didn't reply. 3 weeks later, his neighbors told him, "Hey, there's some creepy people just kind of weirding around your apartment."
There's a guy outside, and he says his name is Twitches, but
So, Yang confronted the strangers, who were wielding a tape recorder and claimed to be representatives for Baker and McKenzie. after a short conversation, he essentially got mad. He essentially sent a email replying that this isn't the way to
Yeah.
confront. I forgot to get back to you. I've been busy. This Nerf isn't my only thought in my head.
Twitch just keeps his work and his pleasure separate, apparently.
One of my one of my favorite quotes from his letter. I've just from his email. I apologize.
Hmm.
Um, Regarding the Vortex Nitron and Raven, these were other products that they were questioning him about. These products are freely available for purchase online at this website, http://www.taobao.com/index_global.php. Yes, I just linked you that website. I don't have the listing details anymore, but if you search for Nerf stuff there, I should find it. I realized the products weren't officially released yet, but it's not my fault. They were on Taobao, and it's pretty common to find promo stuff on Taobao and eBay that the recipients have decided to sell online. And my favorite part of this email comes right here. I've showed your friend Christine the site, but I can't really be expected to teach people how to use an internet search engine. I just love that.
That's
Now,
pretty good.
because of how Hasbro has acted, they are reportedly facing boycotts, although this really isn't particularly new. And they also lost the complete loyalty of a very vocal fan, namely Martine Young.
Yeah, the blogger.
If you couldn't make the connection there.
Yeah, you don't really want to lose bloggers because they don't have like an ungodly amount of power, but they have some say in the community.
Power than just normal people.
Yeah, they have above average power, at least within the buying community, because I assume that he does have some, he reviews things, so you don't want to piss off reviewers. You really don't. Though we do review news, so I suppose that you don't want to piss us off either.
I'm a mod. You don't want to piss me off. You can piss you off, though.
Oh, you can piss me off. I'll just go cry in a corner.
Okay.
All right. Now we can move on to our music, which
And now for something completely different.
we're gonna have Cliff.
We've just
We're gonna have Cliff dancing.
We've got two little clips today about music news. We've had a couple of deaths in the music industry. Men at Work musician Greg Ham. Men at Work is well known for the songs Down Under and Who Can It Be Now? Although, if I remember correctly, they're also well known for fuck, I can't remember the name of the song. Why can I never remember the name of songs when it's critical? Anyways, Greg Ham, the saxophonist and flautist for Men at Work, was found dead in his Melbourne home on Thursday. It did not appear to be suspicious, although the cause was not immediately known. But yes, Greg Ham is now dead. He was 58, and neighbors.
He was just what?
Yeah.
I mean, he must have. Didn't they find him like a couple of days after? Because his voicemail had been left on for a couple of days, and
I don't know. I only skimmed this one.
so
Yeah.
we don't know exact. I'm sure it says somewhere in here, but I don't know exactly how long he was dead before they found him. But I honestly don't know the band Men at Work. I probably heard some songs before, and I'm probably gonna get a mass amount of terrible messages saying that I'm a horrible person with no soul, which wouldn't be completely false, but. And there was one other you wanted to talk about, and I don't have an article for it, but
Yeah. The other death that we have this week. This actually happened last week on Thursday. I just didn't catch it in time to actually have it make our stream last week, so we're going to report it this week. Shit, what was his name? Levon Helms, the drummer for the band, has also passed away. He was, I believe, 78. He finally succumbed to throat cancer last Thursday. I'm not sure what time, but he was surrounded by his friends and family. He passed quietly, as opposed. Well, I wouldn't really know as much for
Greg Ham.
Greg Ham.
We don't know what happened to him.
We don't know. Well, actually,
he just went missing for a couple of days in his house.
I just looked up and I saw another.
Apparently, I'm a horrible person with no soul.
Just really quick skimming this article. No, I'm not seeing any causes of death. I apologize for anyone who actually wanted to know. Yeah, I can't find any cause of death on Greg Ham.
So our music stories this week are pretty depressing.
Yeah, so morbid. And it's only gonna get worse from here.
And I mean, our one from last week was also pretty morbid.
I forget what our
it was the start with the C's. It was the one where they showed the dead guy on stage.
Oh yeah, the Coachella.
Coachella, that's it.
Tupac.
Tupac,
that's
yeah.
Right.
that was semi-morbid as well.
Not as bad.
Not as bad as this, but all right. Well, I guess we'll move on, and I'm gonna let Cliff babysit you guys for the next half hour now.
Yeah.
Because he has a whole bunch to say on this.
These next couple of stories are totally technology, and that's apparently more of my zone. CISPA, which, if you all remember, we covered a little bit last week. It is, if you don't remember, it is SOPA version 2, essentially. CISPA has, well, just to sum everything up in a single sentence, shit's going down right now. Up until this afternoon being about 6 hours ago, the final vote on CISPA was supposed to be tomorrow. Abruptly, however, the vote in the House of Representatives was moved up to today, and the House voted in favor of its passage with a vote of 248 to 168. And I do not remember the stats on who voted which way, but I'm loading those up real quick, so give me 1 second. And I can give you the numbers. I will not tell you whether or not your representative actually voted for or against, because, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn about what your congressman said, because I have no influence over them. So here are the numbers. Republicans, we had 206 yays and 28 nays, and Democrats, we had 42 yays and 140 nays for CISPA. Yes, if you really care, go look it up. Go Google CISPA and then your representative's name. I think. I haven't actually looked. But now this vote followed the debate on amendments, several of which were passed, which among them was a change to the definition of what the government can do with shared information put forth by Representative Quayle. This was described as limiting the government's power, although in fact it expands it by adding more items to the list of acceptable purposes for which shared information can be used. And more astonishingly, that passed with a near unanimous vote. So the CISPA that was just approved by the House is actually much worse than the CISPA you all knew and hated. Um, so, and all of this, all of these amendments and everything was described as limiting CISPA, which that's not actually what it accomplishes. There were a couple of good amendments that were adopted as well. Some definitions were clarified, including the fact that merely violating a terms of service does not constitute unauthorized access. But frankly, none of them really matter in light of this change. The U.S. House has passed this, but well, depending on how much you want to rely on their word, the bill is actually opposed by the Obama administration, with senior State Department officials having stressed that the administration's opposition is intended to be very loudly voiced to Obama himself, as this bill ultimately falls on the desk of the president. If it makes it past the Senate and the House, this will fall on the desk of the president, and he can either, as most of you who know anything about the United States political system, he can veto or sign into law the CISPA. Of course, if he does end up vetoing it,
it does get sent back.
It goes right back to the House and the Senate, and it has to be passed with a 2/3 majority. And if that happens, they essentially override the veto. But the Obama administration is calling for the administration. Apologies for me screwing up so many words tonight. The administration is calling for Obama to actually veto this. I'm hoping, doubting, but hoping that they still remember the outcry over SOPA. Obviously, the House and the Senate doesn't remember this, or as some have
some
said,
of them obviously do.
As some have said, they were just waiting for the clearer waters. They were waiting for everyone to forget about SOPA and waiting for Google, Wikipedia, et al. To kind of forget. But yes, this is a bad thing. If you need me to explain that to you,
it's just not good.
I'm sorry. If you want to do something about the bad thing, write to your senators. If you don't know who your senators are, first off, shame on you. You are a bad citizen. If you're American. If you are not American, you are exempt from this statement.
Yes, you do not.
But if you do not know who your senators are, Google insert state name here, senators, and then just email them, maybe call them, maybe do whatever you can to make sure your voice is heard. Make sure that your representatives know we don't want you to do this, and if you do this, haha, doo-doo. If you do this, bad things are going to happen, and not just for you. Bad things are going to happen for everyone in general.
And if you don't live in the United States, get some people in the United States to do this.
If you don't live in the United States, there are still ways for you to you to help out, raise awareness, and
become a Jarek. Go to a major con and punch people till they do it.
Yeah, just talk to other Americans. Just
threaten their families and no, don't do that, please.
Try to. Well, it's the internet. We're gonna handle it poorly.
Yeah.
how poorly, however.
Yeah, that's different.
But anyways, get the word out there. Just pass it out among friends, family, relatives, Facebook, whatever. Let it be known that we do not want CISPA, SOPA, PIPA, any of its spawn. We don't want this.
Let us have our internet, please.
Yes.
That's all we want.
Anyway,
How was
that's
so? I kind of let them. I kind of let you babysit them for about 10 minutes, and it seemed to work out pretty well. But now I'm gonna you babysit them again for 5 to 10 minutes because I don't know anything about this either.
in something a little bit less a little bit less
Controversial,
no, depressing.
debated, depressing. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Well, frightening. A little bit less frightening as well, but
A
still
little
frightening.
bit. It's still pretty frightening, to be honest.
Um, but yeah, less depressing than CISPA.
All right.
Basically, there's a new virus out, which no one should be surprised by this. This happens all the time. But this one you won't notice for a while. Well,
It's
you
not
won't
supposed
notice
to be.
for one. You won't notice for a month and a week. Or you'll notice now. Basically, what this new virus is, it is the DNS Changer Malware. And what it is, it basically it alters your DNS settings and it points your browser, it points to your computer. Basically, in layman's terms, it makes your internet work differently and go through different pathways to get onto the internet. Now, for now, that's still going to work because those pathways that your internet is going through, if you're affected with this virus, those pathways are still up. July 9th, however, these pathways will be taken down. So, if you are affected with this virus, come July 9th, you'll wake up and the first thing everyone who doesn't know about this who has it will say is essentially, why NoCan has internet? Now, obviously it's not all bad. The FBI has actually caught several of the people who have made this virus, and they have managed to put out tools to test whether or not you have this virus. And keep in mind that this doesn't just affect a Mac. Or this doesn't just affect Windows. This will affect Windows, Mac, and I believe Linux as well. So it's not one of those cases of, no, I've got a Mac, I'm perfectly immune. It's if you have a computer, if you have something that accesses the internet, you are in danger. So, if you want to, now that I've sufficiently scared you, if you would like
There is a way.
Yes, if you would like to verify that you do not have this, go to www.dcwg.org, and you can find. And you know what? I'm gonna paste the.
Yeah, just
I'll
post
paste
it.
the link in chat right now.
I think you can.
Yes, I can. And if you click on detect right there in the top left, it'll go and it'll show you all these different pages that you can go to. If you're in the United States, you'll want to click on the top one, www.dns-ok.us. If you're in any of the other countries, you'll want to visit dns-ok.whatever country/language you want.
You want it in, yeah.
Whatever you're in. So,
No, I mean, we didn't give you a virus.
what you're going to do is you're going to click on dns-ok.us in this example, and what should pop up is a screen that says that has 4 people on it, different colors that kind of look like the AIM icon, and it should have a green background with a little blue IP thing on the front of it, and it should say DNS resolution equals green. Your computer appears to be looking up IP addresses correctly. Now, if it doesn't look like that, go to dcwg.org, and it will have, up in the top, it says Home, News, Detect, and Fix. It has a bunch of other things, but click on Fix, and all these different things, it has links to all these different tools that you can use to prevent yourself from getting stuff like this in the future, and that you can use to try and remove the DNS changer from your system if you have it. Now, even if you don't have it, if you're not up to date on your service stuff, as Time Bomb's saying, don't be daft, wrap up your internet chat, you'll want to... It's good. It's funny. It's something you'll remember.
It's true.
So anyways, you'll want to go here anyways and download one of these things at least. I use Windows Microsoft Security Essentials for my antivirus, and yes, I know it's Microsoft, freeware, whatever, but it's actually it's a very decent malware protection.
It is. I use it on my laptop.
It's free. You can't get better than free.
Sure you can. They can pay you to use it.
You can't get cheaper than free unless they paid you to use it. I
don't know why they would. It's Microsoft.
I know. I use Microsoft Security Essentials, and I also use Super Anti-Spyware because Microsoft Security Essentials is a malware tool, whereas Super Anti-Spyware is a spyware tool, and these are 2 different types of viri. Viruses. Plural of virus is viruses, not viri. You learned something today.
Did we?
So, Lydian, the website is dcwg.org.
Why don't you link it one more time, just in case?
I will paste it in the chat one more time. There we go.
It's still fun to say. Viri is still fun to say, though.
I agree. It is fun to say, but according to dictionary.com, it is viruses.
Aww. Disappointment.
Just Wikipedia, dictionary.com. I trust that one.
Alright.
So yes, if you have it, you have all of these tools right at your disposal to
July 9th. Get it done.
To discover, to help you, and you have until July 9th to check out all your friends' computers, and if anyone that you know comes up to you and says, "Why NoCan has internet?" on July 9th, you'll just be able to facepalm and just take one of these tools and fix it. So anyways, that's my soapbox for the night.
Alright, so now that we're all insanely depressed, scared for our lives...
If you have any questions about this, feel free to email, or feel free to ask anything in Twitch chat, hit me up on Steam, whatever.
So, should we just pack our internet into a coffin right now?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Alright, well...
I will at least be using Tor from now on.
Alright. So we're going to go to a pretty cool story for our last one in this section. I believe this was donated. Hold on, let me just check to see who donated it.
Because this is the first I've seen of it.
This was donated by Hadesbane as well. LED lights make augmented vision a reality. This is pretty cool. This is like technology that first they're just gonna start by making LED lights, but they're saying that that this can exponentially increase to make it so you can have more and more technology within your eye. It's basically a little device that acts kind of like a contact. Right now they're working on just green LED contacts lenses. And
What this kind of reminds me of is the Google lenses, the
yeah,
Google glasses, which
Deus Ex
essentially
something
did,
again.
I believe, the same thing, but
You never asked for this, but you're gonna get
these are
it
content.
regardless. So this is just a cool little piece of technology.
Yeah, it's just neat.
It's in development. You obviously do not have to get it. It's not required of you if you do not want to put something like this in your eye
Yeah.
yet. Until they just replace your eyes when you're born with augmented ones. I don't know. And this is a little scary and a lot fascinating, if you ask me. At the very least, with LED contacts, your hands will be free to pet your robot or tinker with your hoverboard.
Chris, don't worry, it hasn't been made by Apple yet. Once we get there, though,
I.
then worry about the II.
Oh, that's like an amazing saying though. Aye, Captain.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. So this is just a cool little story, and it's where we're gonna end our depressing and internet savvy section one with.
It's gonna be a bit longer of a break this time. I'm gonna go get a drink real
All right.
fast. So
So
you guys
unless
know.
there's anything you guys want to talk about real quick about this, and we're gonna take a quick break. It
Nothing
needs
I can think of.
needs X-ray vision. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It totally does.
So, wouldn't that be like radiation though? Wouldn't that be dangerous?
You say that like I care.
Like you care that you're radiating people as you're looking at them.
About 50% of the population would not give two fucks.
The other 50%, they vote too, you know.